it solves some issues in the sense that you are meeting citizens where they are. So going out to them, I don't know if some of the attention the council has seen from outside of our area or folks who do not have connections to Clearwater, Pinellas County would necessarily follow to Island Estates or Countryside Library once a quarter. So I don't know the answer to that, if they would want to do that. If they did do that, then as you pointed out, staff probably wouldn't be there except perhaps for the manager and myself. And so that might tamp down some of it and allow the council to focus on our actual citizens and our actual stakeholders, and to hear from them. But ultimately, it is council's meetings, and you guys get to decide when and where you have them. But
Up and he'll be here probably Thursday night. You talk to Mr. Taylor outside the meeting, and I've had several conversations with him, and he talks with me just like a normal person. It just appears in the meetings, it becomes more about a conversation, it becomes more about theatrics and other things.
Well, I appreciate us having this conversation now, and this dialogue is much better to have today in this environment than what could be in front of us on Thursdays.
Hi, friends! Go. But we're gonna get into this video, and I'm telling you, January 16th, if you have the time and the means to come out on January 16th, links will be in the description. This meeting that you're about, this is the work session. But during the meeting, we're gonna have a chance to express how we feel about what they're about to do. So let's hop into this video, because I'm telling you, it makes my blood boil.
Move to agenda item 14.2.
Mayor, this is 14.2 are the council rules that we've been discussing, both through one-on-ones as well as here on the dais. Happy to answer any questions.
Well, the attorney did a great job explaining that. So I'm gonna have to go to the city of Clearwater, which I will leave a link to this in the description below. And then you have to go through all of this. You see finances, all this great nonsensical crap. But then you get all the way to this point. And then you get to the city attorney's report. Then you have to click on 2502 and 2503. You click on that and it takes you to the next part. And now you have to start looking up PDFs. All right, so now we're going to get into this, and we're going to get into these PDFs. All right, let's see what this first one has to say. Oh, it's a bunch of nonsense garble. Like I said, I'm not going to go through it. I'm not going to read it. But then you go into 2503, or I think it's 2502 and 2503. You get into those. And then it's just a bunch of... You can see why they are trying to silence us. You need to either read it for yourself, but you're going to hear some explanations from the council members here in just a second. So let's keep going.
Any questions, comments? Councilmember
Just why we're here to have this discussion, to maybe mitigate some added discussion on Thursday. Is it this board's hopes to make that a decision relating to it and then expand on what's next, or are we comfortable just making this decision on supporting this resolution or not, and then kind of letting that one and move forward to what's could be lying ahead?
Well, I said this before, and I mean, I'd love to go ahead and set, some kind of meeting for February prior to this, our Thursday night council meeting at 5 o'clock or whatever, for 3 minute per citizen, public comment opportunity as a trial to see if that works. And then also, some element of, I think this came from staff, city manager, but to have, in addition to that, also a rotating around the community, or maybe somewhere East Library, somewhere Countryside, somewhere on the other side of Clearwater, that we have quarterly or opportunity for public comment, public feedback to the council. But I'd love to have some proposal or something set when we address it Thursday night.
As you heard, they are going to try to make some kind of weird banana friggin' courtroom decision on the January 16th, 6 p.m. Links are in the description. If you want to be there and voice your opinion, please show up.
So that we, before we start discussing, or as we're discussing it, we have this alternative already in place to give people an opportunity to still come before us and address us as a group. My preference would be if they just address us. We don't have staff there. It's not a part of the meeting to where and it's really not a conversation to answer questions. They can reach out to any of us to have a conversation. And Mr. Taylor put a video up, and he'll be here probably Thursday night.
Yeah, you know I'm going to be there. You guys know, and I've offered you the olive branch, and yes, it sounds like you're not wanting the olive branch.
Up, and he'll be here probably Thursday night. You talk to Mr. Taylor outside the meeting, and I've had several conversations with him, and he talks with me just like a normal person. It just appears in the meetings. It becomes more about a conversation, it becomes more about theatrics and other things. And so that would be the purpose of separating it out, is just if folks want to come address the council, they can do so. It's just we're hopefully taking the theatrics out of that by having it be a separate part of the meeting. And as I shared at mayor's meetings I've been to, other communities have done that with success, that having a separate public forum or opportunity to comment. And I would entertain the idea, or really recommend that we at least set one February, and have that date set just as a trial, just to see how it would work here, and then we could follow up with other meetings, maybe elsewhere in Clearwater afterwards.
So, how do we do that? Because we can't vote on it now to do it. Is it something we're going to discuss at the meeting Thursday night, or are we going to?
Well, we're not going to conduct business, so the city attorney can answer, but I don't think at that meeting, we just set a date and it's just a city event. It's not a meeting where we're going to transact business. I don't think it needs to be noticed or published, does it?
Are we talking about for the quarterly town halls, Mayor?
Yeah, town hall, or just if we wanted to do, an opportunity for folks to come in and speak to us before a council meeting. I don't think it necessarily, because we're not transacting business.
I would certainly recommend that, because there's likely going to be interaction and discussion among the council members as part of that forum, which I think is natural. I mean, if you were completely scrupulous and it being a stone-faced, no response situation, then perhaps not. But given the practical realities of that type of interaction with citizen, I would recommend noticing it as a public meeting and treating it as a public meeting.
But then you're back into, I think that kind of defeats the purpose, because then you're back into the same issues that it's a meeting, so.
Right. I mean, that's why it's not, easily solved. I mean, I do think it solves some issues in the sense that you are meeting citizens where they are. So going out to them, I don't know if some of the attention the council has seen from outside of our area, or folks who do not have connections to Clearwater, Pinellas County, would necessarily follow to Island Estates or Countryside Library once a quarter. So I don't know the answer to that, if they would want to do that. If they did do that, then as you pointed out, staff probably wouldn't be there except perhaps for the manager and myself. And so that might tamp down some of it and allow the council to focus on our actual citizens and our actual stakeholders, and to hear from them. But ultimately, it is council's meetings, and you guys get to decide when and where you have them. But if you guys are going to gather as a group, and if there is any potential for interaction among you guys, ladies included, as it relates to council business, then I would recommend the clerk treat that as a public meeting.
Well, I would say we don't do that. We just agree, we're not going to have discussion. Even our rules for council meetings talk about the public comment portion of it, that it's not intended to be a conversation between whoever's at the podium and the council. it's time for them to do their 3-minute presentation, but it's not a conversation. I think that's even in our rules now. So I would, I would,
Today, Junior?
I can see where doing a quarterly thing like we're talking about it, and I really think it should be out on the east side of Clearwater somewhere, because our regular meetings are here, and it's a better opportunity for folks on that side to get out there, so. But I do think whether it's the quarterly meeting on somewhere on the east side, or I'd like to, for Thursday night, have a plan for something we're gonna try here, kind of set or agreed upon.
So if we're looking at the goal is to have accessibility for anyone or resident to speak to us, to be heard, then I think the good start would just be a town hall. And we go to the community, and we go from, we disperse, or not disperse, but rather just take a rotation, rather than the whole hour before. If the goal is ultimately to just allow as many people to communicate with us, then that's what it should be, a town hall meeting. It doesn't have to be every quarterly, it could be every 2 months, whatever, that's up for discussion. But I think that's what would work, and it's just to be listened to, it wouldn't be a conversation between us. I think that would offer us the most flexibility for us as well as the citizens. So we can start off with countryside and then just alternate. I think that's a good start versus an hour before the meetings. It offers more accessibility to the residents.
And the purpose of separating is just, again, not to control anybody's right to, right to be heard or chance to present. It's to separate it from the business meeting so that it doesn't disrupt the meeting, that conversation, whatever they want to share. And that's been our history. It's been a disruption. It's been discouragement for folks who have actual business on the agenda to attend a meeting. And by separating it too, they have the same opportunity to come up and speak to us as a group. It's just, minimizes the likelihood they're going to disrupt the business meeting, and folks who have an issue on the agenda that they feel passionately about, that they want to come speak on.
This is where I offer the olive branch again. Before this council and a bunch of other showed up, this is how the council went. They did their beginning parts, recognitions, blah, 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 and then it was public comment, 3 minutes, public comment, over. And the majority of us all walked out. The majority, for the people that, because I have problems with Clearwater, and we all know I have problems with Clearwater. But for those residents that can't speak on agenda items, to make it a quarterly thing or a you see where I'm going with this. They just don't want, I'm guessing they just don't want me there. But I could be wrong, but I'm going to let them continue to talk because I love when they talk.
But I'd like, whatever it is, we're going to do quarterly somewhere east. I'd just like for us to say, well, the first one's going to be this date, and it's going to be somewhere, East Library or somewhere where the staff thinks would work the best to try it out.
If that's the consensus of the council, prior to Thursday, we can certainly check the calendars and work with you all to pick a date in February, make sure the location is available, such as the East Library, for a time, and I'm assuming you want evening? Mm-hmm. Okay. And so we'll look into that and have some options available for you to, hopefully we can have a date and a location set that you can approve on Thursday night.
So we would still have to put it out so people would know that we're going to be there to come in to talk to us. It would be advertised, I guess.
Absolutely.
I feel dumb just thinking about it. Duh! I'm stupid!
And I would do it like at 5:30. I mean, it doesn't have to be 6. I mean, I'd do it a little early, give folks a chance to get home from work or connect from work. But,
Well, I appreciate us having this conversation now, and this dialogue is much better to have today in this environment than what could be in front of us on Thursdays. in this environment than what could be in front of us on Thursday. So we walk into there with some expectations and understanding of a direction we're going. My thoughts, I too am supportive. We've talked.
Stand up for our rights, Mr. Mannino. You said that at the, I think it was the Doug Kelly show or whatever it's called.
Yeah, Rule 15 was passed, and it is it's a First Amendment right, and I'll stand up for anybody's
Right,
First Amendment
exactly,
right, and
sure.
we'll gladly give them their 3 minutes and listen. Unfortunately, some of the situations you're discussing are people that live over 4 hours away.
Yes.
Don't even live
On
in
the
our
East Coast.
community,
Yeah.
and they're coming in just to put a live stream camera in front of them to get clicks on YouTube or
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There has to be a line between civility and being an obstructionist, right?
Right.
And when you're just there to be an if you don't live in our city, you don't own a business, you're not part of, the Kiwanis Club, the Rotary Club, what are you doing?
Yeah.
And maybe we need to find some of those individuals' hobbies. Maybe they can paint storm drains or something
Yeah.
for us and
Yeah.
put them to work.
All through campaigns and for the last handful of years of the days of governing and sitting in a building and hoping they come find us might be behind us. We need to be out in our community more. I know all of this council shows that every week, how much we value that. I would be supportive of quarterly town hall meetings. I definitely would avoid calling it beach, countryside, morningside, and maybe a northeast, southwest kind of thing and leaning that way. I don't necessarily know if I'm supportive of doing both town halls and having the open session. My only question with the open session, Mayor, is that really the only thing we're relieving is we're removing our staff from the room. But you're still having this leadership team. We're still gonna have to have PD in the building. We're still gonna have cameras on us recording. And then we're putting it on the very same day. We're almost making it pretty convenient of, well, just come an hour early and you can get both shows. Like if we really are gonna lean in doing both of them, I would almost be more supportive of doing that open session on a different night and making a group that's 4.5 hours out of town, making it a little more inconvenient for them to come versus, come and knock 2 out with one. But I'm with you. I think the town hall idea is great.
Well, consensus on it is try one, wherever the staff recommends, but right now I think the city manager's thinking Clearwater East Library.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll look and see if that's available.
And let's try to find a date before Thursday and talk about that then.
Good.
Okay.
Well, that's what it is in a nutshell, everybody. So make sure, if you have the time and you have the means, January 16th. The only problem I do have is, Mr. Cotton, you didn't say one word. You didn't chime in, didn't say nothing. And so we're going to find out on January 16th, 6 p.m. Links are in the description. And if you can show up, let's let them know why the First Amendment is so important. As a matter of fact, hold on. I'll be right back. Yeah. This is my grandfather. Right here. This is my grandfather's flag. He was a Marine. He fought for this country. He didn't fight for you guys to shit on this country. So, go fuck yourselves, you pieces of fucking shit. And I'll see you on January 16th at 6 p.m. Links are in the description.